Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you all will be fine. This is Sami, the host of the Universal Webinars. I welcome you all from my side and from the side of the speaker and all of the management. As you all know that we come up with a new topic every week and we come up with a new speaker as well with the best qualifications, with the best education. Like that today we have also our great speaker with us, and the topic of our today's topic will be the effective communication. I know we have already done a lot of webinars on the effective communication, but hopefully, so Dr. Bobby M. Cubangon will present you some new things in front of you, and you will learn a lot from him. Because of his experience, hopefully, you will try to get as much as from him. So, I will start with the formal introduction of our today's speaker. Uh, Sir Dr. Bobby served as an educator in the many universities. The names of those universities are given in front of you. Some is Ateneo Zamboanga University, and then it's Western Mindanao State University, and then University of San Carlos, and the University of Cebu, and the Cebu Institute of Technology University. And currently, he is at the Department of Educational Talisay City Division, Region 7. His contribution to research and the inception, implementation, and monitoring help various sectors, which includes Wharton, municipalities of the Basilian, street children of Cebu, adopted schools, universities, communities, and NGOs in Mindanao. Okay, and Sir has attended, excuse me, just give me a minute. Okay, so Sir has also his YouTube and Facebook channel, which actively supports the education, and Sir is also serving his country by showing some by presenting some instructional resources, which is available for the synchronous and asynchronous classes on Sir's YouTube and Facebook channel. And I can't present those things on the screen because of some technical issue. I'm really sorry for that. Okay, so after the formal introduction, I will just give you all a little overview on our today's sessions. What will happen in our today's webinar is we always go with the three sections, but today unfortunately we will only go up with the two sections. The first section will be the presentation section. The presentation will be presented to you by the sir, Dr. Bobby M. Cabangon, and then after that, sir has a few videos to show you, and sir will also ask you some questions, and some will also try to get your input on that question videos as well. So for those who will actively answer, sir, and who will actively participate in that, we will provide those candidates an opportunity to be our speaker or guest in next webinar. So this is a great opportunity for you to participate and try to communicate with our today's speaker as much as you can. Okay, so after that session, we will get the question answers from you peoples. So you will have to be ready for that as well to present the questions which you want to ask from our today's speaker. So I hope you will not miss this opportunity, and you will try to ask as much as questions from the very great and what we can say a very knowledgeable person in front of you is will be here. So I welcome with my heart and soul Dr. Bobby M. Kibangon to now come on the screen, and sir, please try to just give them the knowledge as much as you can and try to present the things by yourself. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the different parts of our planet. I congratulate you for attending today's webinar. I hope that you will get something new and that you will learn something from our discussion for tonight. So, just like Sami said, I'll be presenting some concepts and I'll be asking some questions, especially after viewing the video. So, just bear with me, and Sami will also help me out, who's going to be the input participant for the Q&A in my presentation. So as you can see, our topic for tonight is effective communication. So why not just communication? Why is it that we have to be effective? So what is so important that we should learn that when we communicate, it should be okay, the thing called effective. Let me start off with remembering your moms. Remember, your moms would give you a look when we were young, especially when we have perhaps visitors in our living room, and then we go out and we are so noisy and we are so rowdy, and there's a visitor at home. And then your mother would give us a look, right? Our mother would give us that very sharp look. And you know that what that look means, right? We would say, "Oh no, my mom is really angry, and after this, I might have a whipping, or my mom will scold me." So even just for a very sharp look, you know what it means, and you know what will happen next. So even if we go now or grown ups, and some of you might be married or still single, that look, okay, could also mean a lot of things. So when you found someone who's really very interesting and we give them an interesting look, right? But the question is, it could be, okay, we could read the wrong message. Sometimes we might be assuming that that is already implying something. Okay, that look is already an expression of love, but well, when it comes to that, it's quite sensitive, right? So, uh, are you going to just interpret, okay, that that person is already interested in you by the mere look? So that is difficult to decipher or to actually give a meaning. Unlike our moms, you know how that stare, okay, means, right? So the single biggest problem in communication is that we think that it has already taken place, and this is according to George Bernard Shaw. Now, wherever we are, whether we are in school or in our workplace, when there is really a need to really communicate well, then the message should be put across. And you are just illusioning or assuming that it has already taken place, then there's no communication at all. You might be sending only a wrong message, or maybe the symbol doesn't really actually means the same thing in another culture. For example, in our culture, this bobbing of the head means yes, but in other culture, this is no, and this is yes. So in other culture, this one, the horizontal direction of our face going left to right means yes in some culture. So that's why there should be, okay, the term called common, this one, because communication is a process by which information is exchanged between two individuals through a common system of symbols, signs, or behavior. For example, in our country, when you eat in a restaurant and you wanted already to get the bill, you just make this movement. So the waiter would automatically, okay, interpret it. Oh, you wanted to pay now. But I don't know in other culture if it is the same. Maybe just calling a waiter like this or like this. So the hands gesture is not universal. So there are different, okay, ways of interpreting a hand gesture. That is why there should be a common, especially when we are talking about cultural differences, when there are two people talking with different cultural backgrounds. So, a symbol or a hand gesture might mean okay differently in another culture. That is why there should be okay a common denominator, even just for a single sound. For example, the word yes. Sometimes even the word yes, it has multiple meaning. For example, you can say yes, that means yes. You say yes. But when the yes means no, it sounds like this. Yes. But it means no. But when the yes means I don't know or I'm not so sure, you say yes. Okay. Okay, you see, with just one word, and the way you change the inflection, or the way you say the word with the feelings incorporated with it, it changes the meaning of the word. That is why it's basically very important to really look at the speaker, understand what is a situation, and sometimes you look into the cultural background. Even, for example, a single word, an English word, such as this word, operation. Well, this word is technically an English word, and but when different people use this, they have different meanings, right? For example, if okay, the army or the soldier will use the word operation. Well, operation means if the general would say tonight we'll have the operation in okay extinguishing or neutralizing our enemies. The word operation means it's a battlefield. Okay, but what if the word operation is used by doctors? Okay, when the word operation is used by a doctor, it means there's a scalpel, and then the doctor will open up okay the flesh and do something okay with a forceps and other medical instruments. So the word operation now shifts from battlefield to dissecting human flesh. And what if when we go to math, when the word operation is used, it means what are the mathematical operations? So as you would say, it's addition, subtraction, multiplication, and so on and so forth. So that means even one word in English has multiple meanings. So therefore, when you communicate, you have to get to know who is using the term and what type of groups of professions or professionals are using the term. So when we go to our workplaces, some of us are already working or some are students. You would know that there are different levels that we use communication in our work fields, starting off with the emails and okay responding to inquiries or putting the order, or sometimes you need to have a discourse or an essay. So the quality of communication gets harder and harder when the demand also increases. So when you are working in the office, you really have to read the email so that you can really respond to it positively or productively. So if you will not be reading a lot and then the communication fails, that would mean detrimental effect to the company, and that would, oh, of course, will be incurring losses. So it is really very important, no matter where you are. I do believe that English is a widely used language in business. So it is really a must that really have to understand business communication and being able to also serve our clients in the soonest possible way, and of course get all those things that they needed, the right things that they need. So any mistakes in interpreting business communication would mean a lot of losses in the company. So no two people ever communicate perfectly. Okay, however, the more we clearly we communicate, okay, the greater mm, success we can have. So we just have to get to know each other. Even, do you agree? Look at your parents. Maybe they've been together for 10, 20 years, or with your age right now, it could be 40 years or, or more. And do you still see that they still have communication gaps? Do you still see them having fights, or do you still see them argue because there was a mistake, or there might be something that they actually missed along the way? So that is a lifelong, challenge to get to know each other. So don't be too hard on yourself when you have communication gaps or communication problems in your workplace, especially if you're new to your place, because it's just not normal. It's a dynamics that you have to go through, and at the same time learning from it, okay, on a day-to-day basis. That is something that you should be looking at the positive side. So if we have made some errors, so this time that would be already a room for, for us to always remember not to do it again, so that no communication gap would actually incur company losses, or sometimes incur a delay of the services rendered. So don't worry, when we communicate with other people, we don't transfer 100%. Sometimes people will just remember a little of what we're telling them. It's the same thing with us, right? We could not really remember everything. So that is why sometimes, to avoid problems, we rectify what had been done, the errors that have been done. At the same time, we also, okay, ask. So don't be afraid to ask if you're not so sure of what, okay, the sentence was all about, or the command was all about. So sometimes you don't get it perfectly 100%. So to clearly communicate with people that we deal with every day is to have an open line. Always ask questions when you are unsure of things. So I know I have seen a lot of footages in your country, and the devastation caused by the floods. Okay, I almost cried looking at how you are able to cope up with all this, okay, nature-driven destruction, but the human spirit will not be, you know, smashed down to the lowest level, but the spirit of humanity lives on. I will share to you this video, and I will ask you to at least give me three things that you can remember. Three positive things about the video that you can agree with. And another, maybe perhaps you tell me What can you see in the video that is not or shouldn't be done, okay, or not in the way that you're expecting it to be. So I will ask maybe three volunteers later on, by the help of Sami, to choose who's going to, okay, share three things that they can remember from the video and at least one thing that they don't agree with it. Okay, so okay, Sami, can you help me out with the video or I'm going to? Okay, let me start from the beginning. Okay, here we go.
सर आपके लिए उस पार कार का इंतजाम किया है सर। सर आइए सर प्लीज। ये चल चल जाओ बोला क्या बात करता है, क्या ऊपर से जाएगा, क्या ऊपर से जा जा।
गया मेन शो।
I hate this country. कुछ करो ना।
अब मैं वहां जाके क्या उखाड़ लूंगा?
कैसी जाने बूंदे आई, जाने कैसा दर्द लाई, सामने क्या है ये तेरे, क्यों रुका है तू बता रे हो। तुझको पार लेगा, कौन होगा वो मसीहा, वो जिसे तू ढूंढता है, वो ही है तू वही है। तुझ में तेरा रास्ता है, तुझ में तेरा है सहारा, तू ही तुझको पार लेगा, तू ही है तेरा किनारा। तुझ में तेरा रास्ता है, तुझ में तेरा है सहारा, तू ही तुझको पार लेगा, तू ही है तेरा किनारा। जिसे ढूंढता है तू ही रे, तू ही रे, तू ही रे तेरा मसीहा हो।
Okay, that was our video. Okay, going back. Okay, to our activity, my question, my assignment was, what are the three good things that you can remember from the video, and one thing that you don't agree with? What was in the video that you see or that you saw that was not good? Okay, I want Sammy to choose our participant. Who would like to
Sir,
share?
anyone who wants to share their answers, they can share in the question answer section, like in the comment section. I will forward your answers to sir. You all
Okay,
are allowed to just share your answers. Then those who will come first, their answers will be shared.
okay. Again, what are the three things that you can remember? Something good about the film or the video clip, and one thing that you saw was off. So, in general, the video was taken from India. Okay, we have Nino telling us volunteerism, no age required to be a hero in the community, and the influence to help one another. That is a perfect answer. Wow, yeah, that is right. That was one of the things that the video was trying to communicate with us. We can volunteer. And as you can see, it started with a very young boy. That's why Nina said that there's no age required. And we can all be hero, right? And when one starts it, the whole community participates. Thank you very much. That is from 𝘆𝗵𝘁. Okay, we have two more. Who would like to share your inputs on the things that you can remember, what the film was trying to communicate with us? We have two
Who
more slots.
please share your answers in the comment section.
Yes, that is our comment sections also available for you. Again, as I said, okay, our participants for today's activity could be the next speaker or presenter in a universal webinar. So you will have the opportunity to share. Okay, union is strength by 𝘆𝗵𝘁. Okay, that is absolutely right. One could not achieve things alone, but the more there is strength. And when love also said the video is all about giving a helping hand in order to solve an issue on probably probably an obstacle. Very good. So it starts with a young mind and a young mind. Okay, I remember one of the trainings that I participated. As we grow old, our imagination, diminishes. For example, um, a kindergarten teacher would ask, the pupils, class, you can describe to me what a dinosaur or how a dinosaur looks like. Mom, everyone would raise their hand, and every kid would give how they perceive how a dinosaur looks like. When you ask the same question to high school students, who can describe to me how a dinosaur looks like? You can only see maybe one or two hands being raised, and the answer would not be creative anymore, but the answer would be more on the scientific side. But for the little ones, it would be on the creative, that a dinosaur is pink and fluffy like Barney, and it dances and sings. Okay, but as a high school student or a college student would definitely describe a dinosaur based on, if it is a T-Rex, then the description is T-Rex, and if it is okay, the trihorn dinosaur, so that would be also the description. To connect it with the video, the child there was saying that I can do it. Okay, 𝘪𝗵𝘁 said happiness can prevail itself, even the social injustice of the society. So if you can remember, the policemen were just there sleeping, right? Okay, there are people in authority who could do the action right away so that everything goes really moving. Okay, teamwork is always a way of achievement. So if you happen to analyze the video, it started with a young mind who was not doubting of anything. He said that with my superhero hand, I can take this huge tree out of the streets. And first thing, start work with your own help. Take initiative. Second thing, union is strength. Third thing, if you want to do something, then you should stop thinking what would be the result. That is from 𝘆𝗵𝘁. Thank you very much. That is absolutely correct. When you stop thinking that it will work, it will not work. You can change the world by helping each other, according to John Paul, right? If you think that you can, then you can. That is the power of the mind. That is sometimes a law of attraction. You are what you think you are. For the child, with my small strength, I am Superman. I can take this out. So without a doubt, it was raining and there's mud everywhere, and there's a humongous tree in the middle of the street. But the child was so focused that he can do it. And indeed, everyone, okay, but it became viral, right? Other people also, okay, pitched in. And the kids were having the time of their life. They were so happy. Okay, I object on how the authority argued the man. He should have the patience to extend it and just solve it. Ask everybody to just help and solve the problem. Well, I do agree with that. Sometimes we are putting all our trust on the authorities, and sometimes if they fail, we get so frustrated. But as part of the citizens of our community, it is but fitting to just really, if others fail, then we should step up and be part of the solution, but not part of the problem. So, going back to our main topic, communication, that particular video, okay, gave us an example of how communication can move people to put them into action. So, when everyone complains in our country, and then that kind of video will be played, and that kind of okay, motivational videos will be part of our daily routine. Okay, we it is ingrained in us, and that communication is already has already penetrated our mindset. So in the same way, we should be like that movie clip. When we wanted to communicate, we should always be positive that our message or messages are put across. So um, just also think of what would be our goals. Okay, when we communicate, there are certain goals. In the movie industry, like what we have seen in the video clip, it has a power to entertain, at the same time the power to move. Okay, it's called the mass media because the reach of that video clip is wide. So if we look into communication, there are most probably three most basic things that we are aiming when we try to communicate. One is to inform. So this is how we sometimes evaluate the things that we read. In many years ago, we heavily rely on the news to get information, right? But a few years back, the term fake news came about. So there's a new term, fake news, wherein we now could not be certain if our the news feed that we get is entirely true or not. So once we wanted to inform, especially for those who are teaching here, we should be careful where the sources are coming from. So today, when we communicate with our colleagues or we communicate with our family members, by informing us, this should be based on facts. So any error or any mistake in the information could mean a delay or something, or maybe an error could also means a domino effect of other errors. Another goal of communication is to persuade. That movie clip is a classic example of persuasion. We are persuaded to share in nation building, especially for those who are in Pakistan right now. So, where you have been through a lot for the past months, This is the best time that each part of the society should be helping one another to support each other to rebuild a nation. My country is also having a lot of typhoons the whole year round. So the worst that we got was last December when we were hit by Odette. So the billions of dollars were gone because there were so many establishments and buildings and communities were damaged, including mine. So persuasion is multi-level. It can be persuading oneself. I can persuade myself by talking to myself. So self-talk is very important. So when you always think negatively, then everything turns negative. But when you are persuading yourself and it becomes positive, then everything turns positive. So it can be from self, from with other person, and it can also be with a community or an organization. Now, and the last for communication is building relationships. This is very important. It can be between two countries. So we are now looking at a long range war between Ukraine and Russia. So hoping that this will not escalate by strengthening our relationship with other nations. So communication can help build relationship between two countries or countries in what you call different continents, or it can be building relationship within the family or within a community, like in workplaces. So we can build relationship by okay having this type of communication that we and making relationship like in my country. I don't know if this is the same in your country. When one goes out of the house, the neighbors will do this. Hi, good morning. Where are you going? Are you alone? What will you do there? There will be series of questions before you can go. So a neighbor will ask you so many questions before you can go to your workplace. I don't know if this is being practiced in your community or your country, where a neighbor would be so nosy, trying to know your day to day activities by asking you a lot of questions every day. But basically, for me, it's building relationship also, getting to to have your neighbors also be a part of your family or part of your day-to-day basis. For example, if you get sick in my community, if you are sick and your neighbor, the nosy neighbor would know that you're sick, the nosy neighbor will volunteer to cook for you, to take care of your kids when you're not feeling well, will clean your house. You're there, and then you're not alone. The whole community is with you. But if you're so snobbish, whenever you go out of your house and they would start communicating with you and you will not answer, when you're sick, nobody goes to your house. You'll die alone. So that means this simple answering of hi, hello, I'm going to work. Yes, I'm alone. Well, I'll be back at 5. So you just have to have a ready-made answer for their question, and that would mean connecting with them. And whenever there will be a time that you need them, they're there. So you will have an extended family because of communication that you also intended to build relationship not only within your core family, but with the people in your neighborhood. So, why effective communication? This is the ability to communicate effectively because this is a tool not only for personal success but also for professional success. When you are studying, teachers would give you oral exam and they would ask you some questions and you really have to bring it on. Or when you apply for a job, so you'll also be putting your best foot forward. Now, effective communication can help you also influence others. Like me, I think being in the teaching profession for 30 years, I have already produced hundreds and hundreds of teachers because I was part of the College of Teacher Education in different universities. And even those who are not really fond of teaching, when they sit inside my class, they would say, "Oh, I started to feel that I'm starting to love teaching." So, one of the things that I could really share that my son wanted to become a computer analyst, and since my wife and I are educators, he sees us teaching offline and online. Finally, even now that my son is still in college, he's already teaching Japanese students and is starting to love it. So, when we show something to other people, we influence them, even not really influencing them directly. Sometimes your example, your lifestyle, the way you live and carry yourself is already a way of communicating with them and influencing them. Now, the capacity of our communication is an indicator of sometimes our micro to macro influence. So, I have handled small groups of training, and I also handled large group of people. And sometimes the way we communicate can really help bring out, okay, and transfer a lot of information that could change lives and it could help humanity as well. So this is not a capacity. An effective communicator does not happen overnight. So whatever your chosen field is, you need to communicate uh, effectively. Whether you're a nurse, you're in the office, the frontliners. I guess all professions are service oriented. And when we serve, even if we are in front of a computer, still there are at the end of the line that is using our services. So whatever that means, in this life, everything has something to do with offering services. And when we offer our service, it means that communication is also a vital part of it. So sometimes there is a question that might be intriguing us. I'll give you a question and you can type and post your answer. Why do you think nature gave us two ears and one mouth? What do you think is the reason why nature gave us two ears and one mouth? Anyone who has an idea, why do you think nature gave us two ears and one mouth? Why not two mouths and one ear? Anyone who has an idea why nature designed our body to have two ears and one mouth. Anyone? Do you have any idea why nature gave us 2 ears? By looking at this saying on our screen, seek first to understand, then to be understood. 𝘪𝗵𝘁 said to listen more than to speak more. That is correct. So God or nature gave us 2 ears and one mouth so that we'll listen twice and talk once. So what would be it would be a disaster if we have two mouths, right? One on our forehead and another one, and then the two mouths would speak at the same time. So sometimes, in most cases, our conflict at home or in the workplace happens when we all wanted to be heard and we all wanted to be understood. And what happens? Yeah, 2 ears serve us to hear, filter information. Mouth serve us how you will react and say your thoughts, reaction. That is Nina, absolutely correct. So the 2 ears will accept the information and it will be processed here. Okay, and whatever is being processed, okay, that will come out of the mouth. But not at all case, right? Some people would listen to. We call these people in my country marites. Oh, these people who loves to gossip, and some people would love listening to misinformation from all these gossipers, and automatically some people would react to fake news. And sometimes the overreaction can cause, a series of problems later on. So sometimes we listen to the information, uh, process it first, and understand it first. Sometimes, usually, the fights in our workplace would start with, "You don't understand me, you don't get me." Well, you always say that again. Uh, Even at home, right? We always wanted to be the first. We wanted everyone to hear our side, not to listen to what our parents are trying to say, or our colleagues are trying to say that there's something wrong. So, in communication, sometimes you really have to do some introspection, meaning you analyze things. Why are they mad at me? Why do you think these people can't get me? Is this the way I talk? Is this the way I answer back? Is it the way, okay, I react to things? So sometimes overreaction, okay, is a bit of, you know, uh, you get off balance with overreaction, because sometimes what you're expecting is basically not, okay, the right way. So, for example, give you an example. If the girl wants to meet a sensitive guy, some girls or women, you often complain that a lot of guys are insensitive. The girls are perceived to be very sensitive. They tend to be emotional. So guys are, they sometimes just play their games, basketball, and video games, and this couple would not talk at all. And the girl would be talking about, usually the girls would talk about what happened the entire day. And then the guy would say, okay, what happened to the NBA? What happened to the games that they played last night? So one wanted to just talk about events, and one wanted to talk about feelings. So, so it's a positive and negative force not meeting each other. But what if the guy is also oversensitive, right? Every word that the lady would say, he would misinterpret it. So that is also something that you should think about. So again, communication is let's first start from ourselves, and then so that we can also understand others. Now, 80% of workplace issues are communication related for those who are working. So issues will come out um, just because this type of communication happens in our various workplaces. So, and if we are going to make a paragraph on this particular type of communication, which is personal. So we have these words that is very short or very small. Body language is bigger, and next is the tone. So if you analyze, okay, there are different ways men and women, okay, look at each other. For example, if two ladies, okay, they were classmates in college, and they will beat on the streets. And the girl said, "Oh, how are you? Oh, it's been so long. Okay, I miss you. Okay, how's life?" But when you look at the ladies while they're talking, the ladies would analyze or stare at the shoes, at the dress, at the body weight, the wrinkles. So the the stare and the direction of the eyes is multidirectional, and you can already see that they are already judging each other. So one would say, "Oh no, she's unsuccessful. She is jobless, or perhaps underemployed. Maybe she married the wrong guy, and look at her. She's so old." And the other would say, "Oh, she's still so boring and still ugly," and so on and so forth. So, according to science, that is how ladies could have the multilateral way of looking at each other and assessing each other. But two guys who were classmates in college would meet on the street and say, "Hey, oh, John, long time no see. Okay, oh, I miss you. Okay, let's play basketball. Okay, I miss playing basketball with you. Yeah, let's see each other Tuesday, okay? Same basketball court." So, I don't know if you agree with me, but a lot of guys would do that. Just plain look at in a horizontal direction without looking at the shoes, without analyzing the body weight and everything. So it's just merely saying facts, or let's play basketball together, let's meet, okay, and no judgment. But according to scientists, ladies would do a lot of assessment already at the first look. So, what is so important with, okay, the nonverbal part? Because communication is most likely more of the face and the gesture rather than the words. But what happens if we take words away from it? Will it still be effective? Is it enough to use hand gestures and body movement to be able to communicate effectively? Okay, let me share this video to you and tell me, okay, what, okay, this video is trying to, okay, tell us. Okay, I can play it. Okay, Sammy, can you help me with the second video? It's not playing. Okay, there you go.
No assassinations. Oh, and 3 Paul McCartney CDs. That's gonna be 6812.
Okay, I'll now stop sharing this. Okay, that what happens when we get rid of the verbal communication, right? So let's go back to my slide. Okay, that's it. So in this video, we saw that facial expressions were there, body movements, and the eye movements, were there, and an inflection was done by, the waiter. But the verbal thing was gone. So eventually he ended up paying more because it was really very difficult. Really uh, uh, put the message across without words. So the entire communication actually is composed of, again, the verbal, the non-verbal, and you can see the facial expression, the body movement, and the inflection, how the words are pronounced. So if words disagree with the tone of the voice and nonverbal behavior, people tend to believe the tonality and nonverbal behavior. That's why I was telling you a while ago. A yes could be a no. You just really have to be very sensitive. So sometimes when there's no words, when, for example, if you like the girl and you feel like the girl likes you, and then you say, "Can I kiss you?" The girl would not answer yes or no, but the girl would just smile. So, looking at the facial expression, so do you think that is a yes when there's a smile? Or maybe you just have to look at the body. So, when she crosses her arms like this and look at the stern look, okay, definitely that would be a no. Sometimes the hand will not move. You just have to look at the face. So whether it's verbal or non-verbal, you just have to look into the different aspects of communication. Now, looking at this, we have listening, nonverbal, and stress management. Usually, problems of miscommunication can cause a lot of emotional distress, not only in our relationship with another person or family or in a workplace, but when we really listen to them and get to know them and understand them, that is where we'll have less and less stress in the workplace. Okay, so uh, the following slides are already on about stress management. So I would stop from this slide and I would turn the time to Sami to accommodate some questions, that we can process the answers, as far as I can process it. Okay, Sami, can you take over? Okay,
Okay, sir. So you are just ending your presentation, or will you continue?
I will already end because that this part is already on stress management.
Oh, okay, sir. That's fine, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, so as you all know that the first session is very much, very much was very much fruitful, and now we will have another session of the question answers. So you all are requested to post your questions in the comment section. We are taking 2 minute break, so you can take 2 minute break, and we will wait for you people to paste your questions in the comment section. After 2 minutes, we will come back and we'll try to take your questions. Thank you.
Okay, it was exciting. Okay, so very good. So when you're excited, you say yes, yes. Okay, yes. All right, so very good. That is exciting. How was the movie? Okay, so now we're going to our next page. So the second okay, very good. It was scary. Okay, very good. So that is correct. Okay, how was the musical recital? Okay, it was boring. Okay, good job. So very good. So that is okay. We have a question here.
Yes, sir. You can answer that.
Yes, by Muhammad Wakar Khan, how to manage stress. Well, we have different kinds of stress, right? This stress might be personal, it can be family related, and actually work related. Okay, one thing that you can really do is to take down notes on what are the things that causes you stress. The step one is actually awareness. So if you are aware of what causes you stress, then you will be able to proact. So that is proacting. If this is communication related or attitude related, and then you really have to make some adjustment, being able to analyze. Sometimes in our stress, we point a finger towards a person causing us stress. If you happen to look at my finger, only one finger goes to that direction, but the rest of the no three fingers pointing towards me. So that means to be able to look at stress is to also analyze yourself first. So just like what you said, seek to understand yourself first and being able to really uh, analyze yourself, list down all the things that giving you stress, and try to find a solution. So try to have at least three options on how you can relieve the stress. So one of the things that I usually do is introspection, which is being able to analyze ourselves inwards and being able to see how I can change for the better. And with that, if we continue to have positive output, the stress will slowly be gone. Nino asks, any tips to be an effective communicator, sir? Okay, to be an effective communicator, number one is being able to use the target language correctly. If your target language is English, okay, to be able to really put the message across is to really understand, okay, what, okay, and how you say things. So that is one of the things that you are going to achieve. Understand the language itself. There is the so-called language and culture connection. When you use English, there is a certain culture of the users of the language that is attached to the language. If you use, okay, Spanish, sometimes Spanish is more of emotional and passionate kind of people. If you use the Pakistani, you'll also see how the Pakistani people really have their own culture embedded in their language. So to be able to communicate effectively is to understand the language itself and being able to use the right language at the right time at the right place. So when love also asks us about okay emotional instability when it comes to communication. Now, effective communication is actually also parallel to emotional maturity. Some people would utter words right away without even analyzing if the words are hurtful to others. But as you grow old, you will understand that there are some things that you don't have to say. For example, when you say, "Oh, you look fat today." Oh, that is a simple line, right? Oh, you look fat. Okay, and that girl was dieting for almost a month. That girl could really commit suicide, right? Oh my, I'm still fat. I look ugly. So there are words that you mean or you don't mean to be hurtful because you just wanted to say cute. So that is why you really have to choose the right words. So being emotionally, immature. We will not call it instability, but immature. That sometimes we utter words right away without thinking if it that's hurtful or not. Okay. Now, so be sensitive to what others would feel when we communicate to them. That is the secret of becoming an effective communicator. Now, Berber Likim Abun is asking with some terror clients, or would say irate clients or irate clients sometimes, especially when you work in a call center and there are people when they call you and they will all have those bad words coming from their mouth, "Shit, F you thing," and so on and so forth. So one thing that you will do when you work in this kind of environment is to not take those words. Okay, do not absorb it. Do not be a magnet. Just put it here and let it come out there. Do not be emotionally be affected with the clients because we don't know what where they're coming from. So our task is just to listen to what they need and give them the services that they need. So if they are angry with us when they call us, you just have to process what they really need. So you just say, "Okay, sir, I understand how you feel. So let me check first. Okay, this is what you need, right? This is what you're complaining about." So you just have to repeat their complaint and try to ask if you have taken down the right note. And then if they had a confirmation, and then that is the time that you need to give the right service. So do not take it to yourself. Don't absorb everything, okay? You are just working and we don't know how bad they are, where they're coming from. You just have to listen to them. Do not take it personally and just listen to them. Okay, can I have that question again? Last time it's disappeared. Is there some tools or process in acquiring good communication? Okay, number one, as a good communicator, is to visualize your brain. Our brain, according to a scientist, Douglas Brown, he said that our brain has four parts. That's why it's called quadrant. Our brain has a part for listening, speaking, reading, and writing. When we were born, the listening and the speaking part of our brain is already acquired. The term is acquisition required. But when we go to formal schooling, that is where we start to learn how to read and to write. So when you wanted to be an effective communicator, make sure that the four quadrants are actually balanced. So you really need to practice listening. Try to play an English music, okay, an English song, and take the notes. If you can really get the meaning of the song from the lyrics. Okay, sometimes we sing the entire song by not understanding what the song is all means. For example, when we are young, our teacher would play this music for morning exercise. Let's get physical, physical. I wanna be an animal. Let's get physical. Let me hear your body talk. The teacher wanted that song. I play that song every morning because there's a word physical and it means exercising. And when I was already growing up, he said, "Oh, that's a bad song. The song is about sex." And my teacher didn't even realize that that song was really bad. Let me be an animal. Let me hear your body talk. And she was playing it with, okay, for little kids. And just because there's a word physical. So try to test, play a song and try to listen to the lyrics and analyze if you can understand what the song is all about. This is one of the exercises that you can do to be able to practice understanding or comprehending English into music. Now, aside from the four quadrants of Douglas Brown, I added another small circle in the middle, which is thinking. When we were young, we don't speak English at home, but in my mind, almost every day when I imagine things, when there are movies playing in my mind, I use English in my brain. I don't make the characters in my brain talk in my native tongue, but I wanted them to talk in English. So my teacher in elementary was shocked when there was an American uh, visiting our school. I was able to communicate with the American fluently at a very young age, and no one speaks straight English in our class because I watched movies when I was young and I practiced speaking English. Okay, mentally. And I was always rehearsing and having the scripts and the characters in my brain speaking English every day. And English became a part of me. So that is what you're going to do if you wanted to become proficient in the English language, if you wanted to have English, if you wanted also to have proficiency in your native language, also think of your native language and make that thought flow. And if you really wanted to become an academic communicator, so you really need a lot of investment. You need to read a lot, watch a lot, and absorb a lot of information because whatever you are tasked to share, tasked to discuss, it becomes natural because it's something like this. You cannot give what you do not have. So you should have a lot inside so that you can give up a lot outside. Just like in a computer, if you're not going to input information, then you cannot access any information. So to be able to be effective communicator in your respective, okay, areas or respective expertise, you need to read a lot. And again, the last is writing. Uh, the writing process does not happen overnight. So you really have to do it over and over and over again until such time that you reach a certain level of mastery. I have a book published on the Amazon. So I have an anthology of poetry published on an international platform. But my grammar is not perfect. So, but I have a lot of ideas in the literary pieces that I write. So, do I have to worry if I am not grammatically, perfect? I don't have to worry because that's a work of an editor. So I hired an editor from Wisconsin, USA, and she edits my work. And so my work gets perfect. So do not be afraid if you commit errors in English because it might not be your first language. So do not be too hard on yourself that, oh, I am worse in English because it doesn't happen overnight. So the more you study syntax, grammar, morphology, get to know more about how the sentence structures or how they say things. That is called social linguistics. And how you say things at the right time, at the right place, that is what matters most. As long as you know that the message is put across. So when that happens, communication has already been established. Okay, so and you can say that you are already effective. So any more questions?
Yes, sir. I think that's the end of questions, and I just want to repeat some instructions for the participants. I have shared the feedback form link in the comment section. The feedback form link is actually a link which will take you to the a form on the Google Forms. You have to fill that form because those who will not fill that form will not be able to get a free certificate. Okay, sir. Thank you very much for your site. Thank you very much for your worthy presentation, for your precious time. This was nice to meet you, and this was a great presentation of all the time, sir.
The pleasure is mine.
Thank you very much, sir. So I will be stay here for next 5 minutes. If you want to leave, you can leave. I have to just get just files, forms, etc.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your joining. So as you all know, we all have to fill up the feedback form, and the person who is selected as our next guest is this lady, which is on the screen, When Love the Soul. She is selected as our next guest, and she will have to contact us through the email, Facebook, or anything. And other than that, if any of you guys can be a speaker, he can take us, send us any email, or he can contact us. And other than that, Miss Winlove, you can contact us on the email, you can contact us on the Facebook or the WhatsApp. But I will refer you to contact us on the WhatsApp. If you have no account, you can create it because WhatsApp is something by which we can directly contact you, and we will quickly contact you, and we will quickly respond you. And I am also thinking to start a debate competition here on some topics. Means the candidates from you peoples can come up with a topic, or we can choose a topic and we can assign that topic, and then on that topic, three girls and three boys can debate with each other, or the pair or the groups can debate on that. We are going to initiate this thing, and we will just try to reveal its panaphylexes, its flyers and posters on our Facebook page as well soon. So that debate will also take place weekly. We will try to just start with some topics related to different fields. Like sometimes we will come up with the linguistics field, and then if pupils who are very much related to the linguistic fields, they can fill up the form and with their qualifications and a little bit overview on that topic. Then we will try to find out that who is very much perfect for the debate, and then we will select the candidates from that, and then we will take all those live here. Then what will happen, those who will attend live, they will be debaters, and those who will just watch us on, as like you are watching us right now, those will be the participants. That thing will not only increase your knowledge, but that thing will like not only suppose we me or the speaker on the screen, but then you peoples will be on the screen, and then we will also get one speaker with those debaters, means who will have the knowledge, a doctor or a PhD holder of that topic. And that way, that teacher or that professor will come up, and that professor will just look at your debate, and at the end that teacher or professor will conclude the debate and will try to give a appropriate 5 to 10 minutes speech on that topic. In that way, some new things will come in front of us, and in that sense some new speakers, some new faces from you peoples will come on the screen, and in that sense you peoples can also show the society that what you are and what capabilities you peoples have. So in that thing, I will not be here, only you debaters will be here, and the professor and me will be watching you peoples. So we are going to initiate that soon. We will reveal the posters, and but before that, I am just want to reconfirm if anyone wants to be a speaker, if anyone wants to be a guest, they can text us on the WhatsApp or Facebook. That will be better. And the certificates will be given to you within 2 to 3 days, because of the flood here in Pakistan, we are facing a lot of issues in the internet, and that's the reason we are revealing certificates lately. Otherwise, you people know we try to just send the certificates within 1 day. But because of this very, very, very tough conditions and very, very much uh, something like hectic, we can't process them quickly. Miss Marvin, official sir, please answer my questions. What are the greatest challenges to the good communication? I'm sorry, Miss Marvelin, our teacher is not available. I am just trying to figure out if he is there. Sir, Dr. Bobby, are you available here? Sir, Dr. Bobby. Sir,
What kind?
I'm really sorry to interrupt you. Actually, one of our participants is desperately want to answer on a question. This is our question.
Okay, okay. I just send me a message in WhatsApp. I'll try to
Sir,
check my
it's a
schedule.
simple. Sir, it's a simple question that she's asking what are the challenges
Oh,
to the.
what are the greatest challenges to good communication? Okay, one is the communication gap. Uh, when there is a gap between what the speaker wanted to transmit and the receiver will not be able to get it. So that's one challenge that you should look into in filling in the gap. So the gap could be not understanding the words, not getting the meaning of what you're trying to say. So it can go to the micro level, going to the macro level. So the first thing is really to understand each word. Once how the words are placed in a sentence and how the message was really delivered. And that is one way that you can say that if you have already understood everything, then there's no challenge at all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time again. And I'm really, really sorry to interrupt you and disturb you again.
It's okay, it's okay.
Okay, that's all, guys, from today. And hopefully, we will meet again. And we will meet again with new things. We will meet again with new topics. And hopefully, sir, we will get you again as our speaker soon.
Okay, my pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye, everyone.